Hi everybody, please give me a moment while I connect to Facebook. We'll be getting started shortly. And we should be live on Facebook. Hi everybody, welcome to the Strategic Swing Trader weekly broadcast. I am Sami, Director of Education at T3 Live. Hope you're doing well. Hope your weekend is going great. We're going to talk about the market and I'm going to go over my swing ideas with you. We have an amazing list for this week. But before we start, as always, a standard required disclaimer to let you know that trading is risky and that whatever we discuss in this video is for educational purposes only. If you're new to our channel, be sure to download our free ebook. Link for that is in the description. Also, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you find benefit in today's video, be sure to hit the like button. If you have any questions, email us info@t3live.com or drop in a comment and I'll be sure to follow up on the comments later. All right, here we go. So the market, I'm feeling really bullish, even though the market is still pretty sloppy, right? It's bullish, no doubt, but it's sloppy. That's the Qs, which is the top 100 companies in the NASDAQ. That's a SPY. I mean, what's not to love? Super bullish. And the IWM is doing a buy setup. So everything says higher. We may come in a little bit because we had a big gap up on Friday. We might go sideways for a day or two or even come in a little bit, but I mean, the bias should be bullish. I don't care what anyone says otherwise. The bias is bullish, should be bullish. The market is bullish. How can you be bearish when Nvidia looks like this? Look at Nvidia. How can you be bearish when Apple looks like this? It's a daily buy setup. So the bias for me, Meta broke out to new all-time high. We're in it. I called the Meta weekly 1, 2, 3 in the newsletter last week. It triggered. Looks amazing. How can we be bearish? Because I hear people say, oh, we're bearish. They talk about inflation or this or that or the other thing. Sure, maybe. But what up the market? You don't argue with price. You can argue with anything, with everything else, okay? But price. So, and price is saying we're higher, okay? So my bias is going to be bullish for this week. All right, here's some ideas, but there's a lot more in the video description if you want to check them out. But these are some of the ideas that I think are more ready to go tomorrow as opposed to Tuesday or Wednesday. But there's a lot more in the video description. First, the AFRM. You look at the daily chart, that's a very unremarkable chart. You look at the monthly, and that's where the story changes. That's a nice monthly buy setup. If you got it, great. If you didn't, like myself, you know, there's an opportunity to get in it over here, long, stop right here. Or tighter stop would be right here. So I'm basically doing the daily buy setup, but I'm really playing the monthly chart. I'm not playing the daily. I don't like this daily chart. But what if it jumps up and then keeps going? Then I'm gonna miss out on it. I won't be able to get it. So that's why I'm looking at doing the AFRM, playing the AFRM with an aggressive daily buy setup, but really I'm playing the larger time frame. Believe it or not, I believe ARKK has bottomed. It's got a daily buy setup, which is sloppy and doesn't look all that good, but I believe the monthly chart has bottomed, so I like it higher, and I like it higher over, ultimately over 48.11 on the daily chart, probably just over this bar's high, 46.50, stop under 45, tighter stop, more aggressive, but it's much better than waiting for this base to get taken out. By that time, the stock or the ARKK ETF will have rallied a lot to the entry. The goal is to get in as soon as the play starts to go, not after it's rallied $2. You know what I mean? So that's the issue. On the monthly chart, it's over 48.11. On the daily, it's over 46.55. So I would go with the 46.55, and if I take a stop, I take a stop, no problem. But at least I'll have much bigger size with the tighter stop. Okay. BTBT is a Bitcoin stock along with the hot Bitcoin stocks that I like on the monthly chart, especially the BTBT. That's a nice rounded bottom on the monthly, and that's the BTBT. On the daily, they have buy setups, and they look good, but they will only probably work if Bitcoin works. And we'll talk about Bitcoin in a little bit. So BTBT, long over this bar's high, which is 357, stop under 314, okay? Longer term play. The HUT has a cleaner daily, but I believe not as good of a monthly. Long over this bar's high, stop right here. Can also give it to here if you want to give it more room, and has a lot more to go. I mean, to 20 maybe on the HUT to target. Now, since we're talking about Bitcoin, I'll skip a little bit and talk about Bitcoin before I go through the rest of the list. So we have BTBT, we have HUT, we have IBIT, which is the daily buy setup. It triggered already on Friday, but it's not too late to get it over 35.60. The problem is Bitcoin moved up a little bit over the weekend, and so it might end up gapping a bit, but the entry should be over 35.60 with a stop under $34 on the IBIT. And I'm gonna, talk about the Bitcoin charts in a little bit here, but this is the tracking ETF for Bitcoin. And then Ethereum also triggered on Friday over that bar's high. You might say, well, that's not a very good daily, and you'd be right, it's not. But I'm anticipating the monthly buy setup. This is Bitcoin, here's Ethereum. This is the monthly buy setup of Ethereum. So it really needs to take out 27.29. As you can see right here, it says gives you the high and the low for the candle. That's 27.30. I don't want to see Ethereum go up 30 points before I get in it. So the same as the AFRM, the idea would be to get it early. And getting it early means doing it on the daily buy setup of ETHE. So my idea would be over 2090 with a stop under 1948, or if you want to give it more room to 1860, I don't think that's necessary, but one can do so as well. If you want to be even more aggressive, you could do the Ethereum futures ETF, which has twice the volatility of the Ethereum ETF, over 519 with a stop under 447, or a wider stop would be under 424. This gives you twice the leverage of Ethereum. And again, this will only work if the Ethereum crypto ends up working. And I want to see the monthly buy setup trigger ultimately on it. This is the monthly pullback, so I want to see the price. The price is a little bit squished here, so let me zoom in a little bit. This is better, I think. So it would be again over 27.30, but I'm suggesting getting in it early. Now Bitcoin, we talked about Bitcoin. I talk about Bitcoin all the time, but I talked about that Bitcoin had 3 green bars in a row on the weekly, and then likely to get a sell setup. But since we got the first higher low, you see on the way down, these are lower lows, except for this one. That's the first higher low. On the way down also, these are lower highs right here. Okay, every one of them, except for this one. That's a higher low, higher high. So since we got one higher high, one higher low, I'm expecting and I'm hoping that this sell setup right here, when you have a counter rally and then the stock, or in this case, Bitcoin starts to come in, that's a sell setup. I'm hoping for the sell setup to fail if price goes back up and takes out the green bars high, the pivot high. That would be a sell setup failure. Now you can wait for the sell setup to fail and play Bitcoin over $66,555, 550, yeah, 66,550, or maybe on the daily buy setup, which triggered also on Friday, this day. But I do this video only once a week, so now if you're not in it, maybe over today's high on Bitcoin, or better yet, I would use IBIT. It's the tracking ETF. Of course, there's also a leveraged ETF, but I don't recommend it. It's pretty volatile as is. So, okay, so that's where the IBIT comes in. It's a daily buy setup, but I'm really eyeing the weekly sell setup failure, which would be the entry on the monthly chart of Bitcoin. Okay, so this is called multiple time frame alignment, when you're trying to make sure that the monthly, the weekly, and the daily are all in alignment. Okay, very important concept in technical analysis is multiple time frame alignment. Okay, so we talked about BTBT, we talked about HUT, we talked about IBIT, we talked about Ethereum. Okay, let's go back to the list now. Disney, which is not a Bitcoin stock, obviously, triggered already on Friday as well, but it's not too late because I really like the monthly buy setup on it's a deep pullback, but if it's gonna go up and if it's gonna work, this should be it. So it's a deep pullback on the monthly chart, but good spot on Disney. So again, it triggered already on Friday, but I don't think it's too late to get it over 95.85. Stop, I would give it to here to make sure you don't get shaken out, because it would be, this is a long-term play. Stop under 92.15, okay, on the Disney. Similar idea to the Disney, if you don't like Disney or it's too expensive for you, would be the LYFT, LYFT. A similar concept, monthly buy setup, deep pullback, long above this bar's high, which is 1380, but instead of waiting, one can get it just over 1288 with a tight stop under 1220. It's the same idea as Disney. I like Disney a little bit more. I actually like the LYFT daily chart more because it's a tighter stop, but I like the Disney on the monthly a little bit more. In fact, even Snapchat, I guess Snapchat is on my list here. It's a daily breakout, but it's a similar monthly. It's not exactly the same, but it's a deep pullback. And if we take out 1107, that might be the bottom on Snapchat. It's a bit more aggressive, but here it is, long right here, stop right here, super tight stop for a potential long-term play on the Snapchat. So that's an idea for you, okay? All right, so Disney, Ethereum, we talked about. FTNT is just so bullish. Look at this gap. This is one of I have 3 favorite gaps. This is one of them, which is the gap that ends a long-term trend. You see it? So just completely ended the downtrend and then just shot up, and it's been basing. So it's a base breakout, or if we look at the monthly chart, you could just call it a 1, 2, 3 on the monthly time frame. It's at resistance, but I think it should take it out. So long, really over 78.18, which means it triggered already, but it's not too late, over 78.50 with a stop under 73.29, okay? And then the target is TBD, to be determined, because I would be eyeing long-term new all-time high on the FTNT. HUT we talked about, IBIT we talked about. Intel is a nice, pretty daily buy setup over 22.91, stop under 21.65. INTC might maybe get bought by Qualcomm, so that would be nice. Target, I would say all the way up to about $30 on the IBIT. If you want something that trades off of the INTC, it's the MBLY, and it's a similar setup also. It's a deep pullback on the data chart on a really bearish stock, so it's low odds, but it's really, really pretty. So one can try it over 13.17, that's 13, and that's 13.40. Stop under 12.23. I like the INTC more, but similar concept. MU, I called it as a swing trade before ahead of earnings, sold half on earnings. It has a nice buy setup, deep pullback, but nice buy setup if it can take out 104.25. So over 104.25, stop under 98.94, target 1, the prior high, which is about 114, 115, maybe target 2, 130. Hey, it's nice to be, I like to be greedy. I like to be greedy when the stock is going in my favor. So that's the MU. ROKU is a long-term idea over here, long. Stop under the base or the pivot. So it would be over Friday's high, which should be 77.30, and Friday's and the pivot low is at 71.74. I like the ROKU monthly chart, similar to the ZM monthly chart, which I really like as well. It's an open position, both. Similar to the PayPal, which is already underway a little bit, is an open position as well. Similar to the Zillow, which has a daily buy setup, but it's a little bit ugly. So over that red bar's high, 65 by 62. So a lot of these nice monthly charts on name brands, Zillow, whatever, ZM, PayPal, ROKU, DEI triggered on Friday, similar monthly. Beautiful, beautiful, but that's not a name brand. I know nothing about DAI. I don't even know what their name is. Douglas Emmett Inc. I didn't even know, but it triggered as a daily breakout on Friday. Nice monthly. Okay, back to the list. We talked about Snapchat. SOXL is the leveraged 3 times bullish ETF of the, I think the SMH, the semis, the semiconductor industry. So I like it higher. It's on a buy setup. Over 37.53. Stop under 32.75. It's a daily buy setup. Or play NVIDIA or MU. That's a daily buy setup. Dell, but it triggered already. Daily buy setup also. So a lot of these semiconductor stocks are doing daily buy setup. Toyota, I've been trying to catch it, but every time I want to get it, it gaps because it's obviously it's not a US stock, so it's an ADR. I like that monthly chart a lot. Here's an idea. It's pretty aggressive because it's a tight stop. Long right here, stop right here. Or if you want to give it more room, stop under 170 or so. So I like that monthly a lot on the Toyota. And then these we talked about already. The ZM, I guess we didn't talk about. It's triggered as a daily buy setup. It still looks good. It's a little late, but it's not too late over the SPARS high, which is 68.70. Tight stop would be under 66.80, or wider stop would be under the pivot. So I like the Zoom video as a long-term play. Some shorts. Those are the only 3 shorts that I could find. RGP that I liked, obviously. RGP, which I called as an earnings play in the newsletter, in the Strategic Swing Trader newsletter. Called this as an earnings play because it looked perfect, even though it's thin, a little bit illiquid. Boom, worked. I like it short as a swing trade now, under this bar's low. Stop right here. So played it as an earnings play short. Now I like it as a swing short, similar to the Micron, the MU. Played it as an earnings play long. I like it now as a daily buy setup swing. Sirius Satellite, they did a reverse split, so the chart, I don't know why it didn't adjust. My other platform honestly looks different for Sirius Satellite. Maybe I can show it to you. Let me see if I can. Is that gonna show? Hold on 1 second. Yeah, there it is. That's the daily chart of Sirius Satellite. It's got a base breakdown. It doesn't look like the other platform that Realtek that I'm using here. So it does look lower under the base, the hourly base, stop above it. I'm not playing it, but it does look lower. Sirius Satellite. STTK gap down, and it put in a green bar, but now the green bar got negated and it's been basing. So I like it as a short under the base, stop above it. Okay, so it would be under 114, I think, 115, stop over 138, or can give it a little bit more room to maybe 150. Okay, if you want to. So that's another short. So those are the 2 favorite out of the 3. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, be sure to hit the like button. If you have any questions, email us please, info@t3live.com, and check out my links in the description if you'd like to find out more about what I do, and if you'd like to join me in the newsletter. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great trading week. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.